Hi, everyone. As Daniel said, my name is Bob Brisky. I'm CTO of Dept AI, and I'm here to talk to you about something we're calling the conceptual web, this idea of understanding at scale. And let me dig into that a little bit. So we're on the cusp of this kind of transformative era. I think you've seen statements like this before. They're really kind of high-level statements about how AI is going to change everything. They've gotten really popular over the last year. Um, and they're a little bit like finding out what a slang word means in the dictionary. They're factually correct, but probably a little bit dated at this point. And so what do we actually do with this information? And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Um, we are thinking of generative AI. There's a couple important things we're thinking about with generative AI. One is the ability to communicate like a human, the generative part, and then the P in GPT means pre-trained. So the ability to get the model to do something useful without having to spend 8 to 10 months training that model. We think these things are the heart of what is really going to drive this technology forward. And so how do you harness this information? How do you use it to actually move your business forward? Um, Let me step back a little bit and kind of explain the history a little bit of how companies have used data. Data has usually been in kind of broken down into two different types: unstructured data, which is very useful. It's in databases, it's in Excel sheets. People use it on a day-to-day basis. And then this other kind of group of data, it's called unstructured data. Pictures, books, but basically stuff you can't fit into a spreadsheet. But the thing about unstructured data is it's most of our content. Most of the content that the human race generates is unstructured. It's like all the Beatles albums. It's everything Shakespeare ever wrote. It's the Bible. It's most of what we create. And so the real important thing about this generative AI is the ability to structure what was previously unstructured. I think and another way to think about that is the way we speak to each other is not actually unstructured. You can understand the ideas that I'm talking to you about right now. There is a structure to images. There's a structure to speech. It's just that we haven't been able to build a model or a machine that can understand that structure until last year. And so we're really excited about the generative part, but the thing that we think is going to be more useful to companies is the ability to understand and really generate some kind of structure from this previously unstructured data. And we're calling that, we think that's kind of understanding it, I think, if we were to use a single word to describe that process. And so this conceptual web that I mentioned at the top is making our ideas accessible, searchable, and understandable, I think, at a scale not possible before. And so that understanding at scale is what we're really interested in talking about. And so I'll get into a couple of examples. Um, I think understanding what a customer likes and then curating products for them. That's what we're doing with, we had recommendation engines before, but they were really based on things like what people looked at on a website after they looked at other products. They weren't based on the product themselves and how products relate to each other and how people talk about products on a day-to-day basis. And with generative AI in these large language models, now we don't have to use another analog like where people clicked to understand which products relate to each other. We can curate products based on how people actually speak about products. And so understanding that relationship is a really important part of how we're using this new technology. Um, Understanding what part of your life you're in when you're shopping for different products. We have a client that sells jewelry, and they're really interested in speaking to their customers based on why they're purchasing this particular ring, this particular necklace. And so you can think of all the different times in your life when you would purchase these products, an engagement, a wedding, an anniversary, but all of those things happen at different age, different relationship status, different wealth status. And so the ability to speak to your customer in a way that makes sense to them at that point in their life is really compelling. This is a really interesting thing, really interesting one. We have a client that's a really they sell industrial equipment, and they have a lot of previously unstructured content of people talking back and forth to each other, mostly their customer service agents, about sounds that are being made when they turn on their equipment. And then there is quite a long conversation about how to fix that particular issue, whether it's something that can be done without a new part, whether you need to order the new part, what new part that is. And so we're able to take all of this, all of these conversations, and now speak to an actual chatbot or more of a search interface, and talk about the system that they have and the sound that they're hearing, and it's able to pull up and explain to the person both how to fix that and what part they need to fix that issue. And so understanding at that scale, which is a huge scale, they sell tens of thousands of these pieces of equipment, and to do that really quickly and really make their customer service agents be able to service so many more customers so much more quickly is really a great use of the technology. And then the other thing is really understanding what people are saying about your company and generating a response quickly. If your company is anywhere around medium, even small businesses, sometimes they generate a lot of headlines or generate a lot of conversation. And so to be able to pick out the conversation that's happening about your company, categorize it, and then generate responses or generate marketing campaigns or PR campaigns based on that conversation that's happening is something that you would have to have previously employed a whole team to do this. But generative AI is able to do that really quickly at a scale that wasn't possible before. And then this kind of fun thing to end it is around the holidays, we have a client that wanted to personalize some video calls for children, and they base it on the lists that are sent into the system. And so they have an actor, like a locally famous actor, that is able to, that they've used that person's voice to be the voice of Santa Claus for these children.
For those who are not from Holland, Sinterklaas is a Dutch tradition. I look a bit like Santa Claus, but we are just distant family and I only go to Holland. I go there once a year, by boat, including my horse and my great team. We go there to fill children's shoes with candy and small presents. Leading up to our big day, the 5th of December, which is my birthday and pakjesavond for the people in Holland, the evening where we visit all households once more to deliver a final bag of dream gifts.
So you can see an interesting way to employ this technology to fill children's shoes with gifts on a date that is not typically our date for Christmas, but it's an interesting way to bring different cultural kind of traditions to these different ways in which you talk to your customers using this generative AI technology. So thanks for the time, and I appreciate you being here.